Good morning. Thank you for joining us today on Becca's World. I'm your host, Blind Becca. Today we're recording the 25th episode of The Blind View, and we're opening the show with an emailed question from a viewer. So let's get started.
Okay, so the question that we received is, I have a blind friend whose family has disowned her after pursuing a long-distance relationship and moving out of state. Since returning to her hometown, she has become distant, and I have noticed signs of depression and suicidal thoughts. As a life coach, is there any way you could help or refer resources to help? Thank you.
Okay, so the state in which this is going on, I happen to know there's at least 2 training facilities this young blind woman could attend. But going to a blind school for training isn't easy because it's costly and most people can't afford to pay for it. So, but the taxpayers will pay for it. What you need to do is contact your voc rehab office and get signed up for vocational rehabilitation training, and they will evaluate this young woman and they will help her get into one of the schools in that state where I know, like I said, I know there's at least 2, I think maybe 4 different training centers in the state I'm speaking of. And she could go to any one of those and get the daily living skills that she needs to live independently. She could get the training to learn Braille and use accessible computer technology. She could get training on how to use a cane or eventually get a guide dog if that was her choice. There's all kinds of training that she could get, and that's what I would recommend. And do any of our panelists have any other recommendations?
I would add to that, Becca, that her state would be able to evaluate her mental status as well before sending her to a school like that. They would send her for care or treatment first to make sure that she's ready to enter into any kind of training, and it would not fall under her as a burden to pay for. So that is something that she doesn't have to worry about. But it is important if she is trying to reach a level of independence that she be evaluated. It's very confusing when we go through so many changes and rapidly sometimes as we lose our vision or later in life, or maybe we've had vision loss for our entire lives and we have not actually dealt with it until we're older. And sometimes it hits everybody differently. We do, as humans, have a tendency to mourn loss, and vision is one of those things. And it can lead to, those detrimental, suicidal thoughts. I'm not going to speak from my personal experience because I don't want to project my own experience onto this person. But I do know that it would be a good idea, like you said, for her to be evaluated.
Yeah, losing your eyesight is, in my case, I will say I was getting depressed. Because my life is a story about loss. I lose my vision, lose the capability of doing this and that. And I will have to say that just me getting O&M training, and also after that go and get me a guide dog, that has helped me a little bit. Do I still get depressed sometimes? Yes. Depression is a normal thing. And how deep you get is where you need to find out if you need to get help with medication or from a psychiatrist or something. So being depressed is normal. So it's not abnormal for her to have it. It's just how deep her depression is. That's where she needs to get the help from.
Well, and I know as someone who dealt with blindness later in life, I was 12 years old when I went blind. You really tend to feel helpless and trapped. And if this young woman isn't being told how to get access to training and stuff to become an independent person, I can see why she'd be frustrated. And so that's why I just thought we could all share what we know. or what we've experienced.
I've experienced a lot, but I don't want to project it.
So Larry, is there something you would like to share?
Dealt with blindness all my life, and there are aspects of it that are depressing, even for those that have dealt with it all their life.
Mm-hmm.
And because the old adage is, if you don't, you can't miss what you never had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The old adage is, you can't miss what says that you can't miss what you never had. But society makes us who have never had the sight aware of what we do not have, whether they mean to or not. And me, I can speak for sort of disowning. I haven't so much been disowned as dismissed by my family, most of my extended family. And I came to, that is an issue in this woman's problem too. And that is an issue I have dealt with. And finally, after a long time, I went to a reunion of the family, and then I came out of there realizing I don't know these people, but then they don't know me either. So why should I even care anymore?
Right.
And, couple that, and we don't know if this woman is a recent, her sight loss is recent, or if it has been a decline over the years, such as Tim's, or suddenly, like Becca's was. But there's so many issues involved that this person needs to get her depression stuff somewhat under control before she can even start. And finding organizations that can help you is only half the problem, half the battle. You need to be ready to have positive influences put in. And as long as you're feeling out of it and depressed and suicidal, as it were, you're not ready for those input positives, and nobody can force them on you yet.
But once you get past that point, and once you're ready to start recovering and start living life as normally as you can as a blind person, this is how you can go about doing it. That's what I wanted to share with our viewers.
Yeah.
Becca, you can't, and the other thing is you can't change people. Mm-hmm. People have to want to change themselves.
Yeah.
And that's something that everybody forgets.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Oh, Leon's here.
Yep.
Hi, Leon. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Does anybody else have anything they would like to add on this situation?
Well, yes.
More advice for this young person?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to say?
My vision came way late in life. I was 37.
You mean your blindness?
Yeah.
And you said your vision.
Same thing.
Okay.
I got
it. And I had 3 kids in a house and was going to school and working part-time. So, and I was driving. So talk about a sudden halt to almost everything. Yeah, that was a big revision on my part. And yeah, depression tried to come at me, but I had 2 choices, sink or swim. And with all of that coming at me and the way it was sitting up, I didn't have time to jump in depression's lake and stay put. I had to get busy because I had 3 kids to take care of and everything else. So I decided to find the help I needed. I wound up with a therapist who showed me coping skills. There's not too many therapists that do know how to do this. But this particular lady, bless her heart, I still talk to her. She showed me how to deal with coping skills because my disorder is multi-systemic. It affects more than just my eyes. So at any point in given time throughout the years that I've had it, it can affect one part of my body or another. And I have to be ready for when that hits. So dealing with those coping skills helped me to overcome a lot of the depression that tried to come at me. It also prepared me to be a stronger person with my kids and everything else. I still went back to school. I still worked. I still ran a house and dealt with 3 kids. So I had to shift a little bit in how I did things, but I did get it done. And like Kim said, you have to be ready to make those changes. You've got to be. Because if you're not ready and you don't ever feel you're ready, then it won't change. But if you're really ready to do something about it, then you're going to make those moves to do so. And you will have some people positive around you to do it.
Yeah. And you can, when you realize you have to make those changes, you can either figure it out on your own, or there are training places you can go to get a leg up on it and get it, maybe a little bit faster. So I lived as a blind person for many, many years before I finally got my, what's called, what do they call it? Non-visual skills training. And let me tell you, that really revolutionized my life. They teach you to live every aspect of your life without your sight at all. So then you can literally do anything you set your mind to without your vision. You know what I mean? And I was already halfway to that point before I got that training anyway, just by force of having to live so many years without anything at all. But I just feel like it's a really good training. And so I want to make sure our viewers know it is out there.
Well, like my situation was something like Joetta's when I lost my eyesight later in life. Going from working to all of a sudden not having eyesight, the depression did kick in. I mean, I was literally suicide. I was suicidal. And, when I went to the state, they wanted me to go to the school for the blind, and I wasn't ready to go. Like Kim said, your mind has to be ready to go, because I was still in the denial stage. Mm-hmm. Once I went to the Lighthouse for the blind, and I went to the blindness acceptance class, and that I could find out that I could live my life as a blind person. That's when everything started coming together, slowly but surely. Then I made a decision to go, to the school for the blind in Austin, Texas, and that's when I met Joetta.
So once you made that decision, do you feel like it was a good decision to go for your training?
Mm-hmm, because once that decision, I had to make it. Once I accepted the fact that my eyesight was not coming back, that's when everything started coming together. Like, okay, what can I do? And I'll be damned, I can't live a full life. But that, like you said, that young lady has to accept the fact that, you're blind. You have to accept that, you are blind. And no one's going to, I had to go to a therapist because the Chris Cole School, at the time, they didn't even want to accept you if you didn't have a therapist say so. I think it was the best decision I ever made. Now, I guess, look at me now.
This is a word not so much to the blind person, but to the friend who wrote about the person. The best thing you can do as this person's friend is to support them and love them and be there for them.
Mm-hmm. Now, if this young person is going through anything like what I went through, the people who should be loving and supporting her the most are probably telling her that she can't do anything, because they don't know that with proper training, she can literally do anything she sets her mind to, even though she's blind.
Mm-hmm. I have family members that think that even what I've accomplished as a vision impaired person, they still doubt me. But that's the fun thing about it. I like proving them wrong.
Oh, yeah.
The funny thing about it, when they come to the house, they don't see all those awards sitting over there or mounted on the wall. I'm like, you can't be that. You must be as blind as me because it's right there in front of you. What I've accomplished. You know, and it's either you don't want to see it or you just don't want to look at it. Same thing. Sorry, but
you refuse to believe it.
Yeah,
it comes from within.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I had cousins that literally said, "I did not know you were doing that." I'm like, as long as you come to this house, since I've been blind, you never bothered to look at those awards over there. You never bothered to look at them. That amazes me.
Yeah.
You know, is my graduation certificate for the School of the Blind. But, you know, that only got me launched into doing all of this. Look at the school accolades and you know, honor society and all of that. But you didn't even bother to look at it. You just think that I just stay at home all day.
It's a common misconception.
Yeah, but that misconception's been there since the 1920s, unfortunately.
Probably before that.
Yeah, but I mean, because look back in the past, everything. If you were blind back in the 1920s, there was no hope for you. You got put in a sanitarium, and that's it. You had no intrinsic value. You weren't a person that could be gainfully employed anywhere. So as far as they were concerned, you were just a lump. And they figured you couldn't do anything in your life, so they put you away in a sanitarium. And that stopped in like the mid-70s.
Times have changed though, you guys. You know, when I joined the NFB, one thing I learned is there are blind lawyers, blind doctors, blind authors, blind teachers, blind everything out there. Like when you
can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I knew that before I joined the NFB, but when I joined the NFB, joining a group that was, you know, singing the same message I was singing really helps a lot. And the NFB,
absolutely.
Like, they'll never say you can't do something because you're blind. Because literally, as NFB members, you said something before us, and we'll figure out how to do it as a blind person, no matter what it is.
Blindness is not the characteristic that holds you back.
Honestly, you can figure out how to use your blindness as a strength.
Yep. You know, it is a challenge, but I love meeting that challenge. It's fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
People wrong, and it's like I can just imagine the look on their face, like, you blind mother effer. You. Like yesterday. You know, like yesterday, they were trying to make fun of me at my treatment center clinic. You know, how was I going to go vote and all that? I'm like, the same way I wanted to say something vulgar, but I couldn't. You know, the same way, you know, I lay in bed and mess with women. Okay, you want to come join me? You know, she just walked away. I'm like, don't give me a smart remark. I'm going to give you a smart answer back.
Well, you know, this is going to be my first year of using an accessible voting booth. And so I'll definitely talk about my experience on the blind use so people will know what it's like. Yeah, they gave me a rubber condom this morning for my finger. What? Yeah, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you. When you walk in, they give you a rubber condom that goes on your finger.
Yeah, be nice. Jesus.
It looks like a condom, but it goes on his finger.
So, guys, let's get to talking about my interior decorator who I've recently hired.
Well, actually, I'm an interior designer.
Okay, my interior designer who I recently hired.
I was actually thinking about how it kind of goes along with the first topic and how improving someone's life and making someone feel stable or less cluttered is always been more focused, more in tune with their living environment is important to me. I spent a long time going to school and learning, building codes and about architecture and drawing and space planning, appropriate measurements for kitchens and baths, and lighting and electrical and plumbing and flooring and all kinds of things that I'm not even touching in your house. But it doesn't mean that I'm not capable of doing those things. I'm doing things in a slightly different way than I ever did before. And it also means that I'm explaining things a little bit differently to you too. Like, we walked around your house and I literally walked you through the design without it being there.
Yeah, and Kim is helping me figure out how to rearrange my home and my work environment, which are one and the same, to make them work better for me, you know, and she's helping me get organized and she's helping me do all this stuff, and it's really working out great.
Well, and that's important to me, even in my own home. And I know that it's important to a lot of people to feel safe and comfortable, fewer barriers, especially where they live. And you need to have things where you can access them easily. And that's what my goal is with your house.
Nice.
Yeah, so anyway, since Kim and I are friends anyway, and we're both on The View together, we kind of wanted to share this process with you guys as we're going through it. So Kim came over yesterday and we sat down and like talked, and well, yesterday was your second time here, Kim, right? I think. I mean, you've been here more than twice, but I think yesterday was the second time we met on my projects, and it's coming along really good.
Yes.
Ooh, that's outstanding. I like that. Keep the momentum going. Keep the movement going. You know.
Is there any more you'd like to share on that, Kim? Well, and I'm also helping you with labeling and brailing.
That's part of the getting organized, I was saying. That
your files. That's what we worked on yesterday, was brailing.
Yep. She's helping me get my filing system set up. So, because stuff is really happening for me now in my company, and there's going to be contracts coming forth and other documents I'm going to have to keep organized and in, some kind of some kind of organization that makes sense. And so she's helping me set all this up, and I'm really glad.
The other thing you could do besides label, if you're not a very good Braille reader, is to use the Pen Friend or Pen Friend to label stuff.
Yep. Another thing I use
about that too
is like 2020 markers and like a white sticky label. You put the white sticky label on there, and then you use a 2020 marker to clearly write what you want to write on there if your vision's good enough.
Right.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah. But the thing about those, sometimes those smudge. I really feel like something tactile is the best.
Yes.
Long term, yeah.
Well, after this semester, I will be officially inside my engineering class courses, but I'm gonna document that, see how that goes. Mm-hmm. But I'm not the only one out there. But I met another blind student. Well, he's already working in the engineering field in San
Awesome.
So he's totally blind. So I'm in contact with him, see how he's doing, and pray for me.
Leon, how do they handle things like AutoCAD?
I don't know just yet. We're gonna right now. I'm trying to get this math out the way. These math courses out the way first. Once I do that, I'll be doing all of that. But this doggone math has just been eating me alive the last year. This is my third time taking it, not because I don't know how to do the math. It's just having trouble, finding somebody to help me do my work. And, my school has been real anal about, they think I'm cheating. I mean, they don't want me to cheat. I'm like, I'm not cheating. I'm just trying to find somebody to, put the work in for me so I can turn it in. I'm telling them what to put on there, but, it's finally coming together this semester. It's finally coming together.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but,
more and more blind engineers out there.
Yeah. But, since I am the only blind student in my engineering school here, I am the first. I had to be the guinea pig, unfortunately. I'm like, hell, y'all to name the school after me after this.
Well, guys, I kind of think like as blind people, when we have to figure out how to do stuff in new and inventive ways, that's kind of like being an engineer, isn't it?
It kind of is. An innovator.
So as a blind man, you probably already halfway there to thinking like an engineer, Leon.
We'll call it adaptive engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say adapting is engineering, Larry?
I said call it adaptive engineering because
my old Christian college. Oh, go ahead, Larry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we adapt to our situation and we engineer ways and workarounds to work for us. So.
My old Christian university, what their motto is, huh?
What is it, Leon?
Faith brings us together. Ingenuity sets us apart.
That's not bad.
I like that was my Eternal University's school motto. I'm like, I've been saying it ever since I got kicked out, but I still give them praise for that motto, for that slogan.
Sorry, guys.
And tomorrow I got a meeting. Since I am the president of our Dream Chapter meeting. I like our slogan there too. What is it? It's not the hand that you dealt, it's how you play your cards. I'm like,
That's life in general, period.
Yeah.
Totally.
But
there's always more than one way to do something.
Some of us have our cards are more interesting or bigger. You know what I mean? For some of us, the cards that were dealt in life are just more interesting cards or more bigger cards that we have to climb, like bigger mountains.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everybody is dealt a hand in life. Well, hey guys, I got a quick minute. I wanted to share with you the great news that you can now get my first book, Because You're Blind, in hardcover, paperback, and on Audible. See the links below. This is the story of what it was like waking up blind at the age of 12 and then several years later being stripped of my constitutional rights by my parents. And it's the story of how I had to fight to get my constitutional rights back. It's a very powerful story, and I encourage you to listen to it. And the first 50 people who email me will get a free download of the Audible version. And all you have to do is go on and write a review on Amazon for me. Thank you very much. And now back to the blind view.
Anything else that's interesting we all know what's going on?
Does anybody want to talk about the Amy Coney Barrett hearings at all?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so okay. Go ahead, guys.
I'm gonna say this, and then y'all can disagree with me if you want to, but I don't think you will. What they did to her in the hearings was nothing more than a witch hunt, because there is no. I might get chewed after this back, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. All right.
Go for it.
All right. There is no MF way that being a woman and a mom, I would put up with those questions they handed her. Mm-hmm. Because as a human being, that was wrong. They're gonna try to. She did anything with what the? You got choking me.
I would have asked her, is she raping? That's what she eventually asked her.
I would have asked that woman when I said no, and I would have turned around and said, "Have you?" I would have.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Because see,
she asked that question. She asked that question in front of that woman's kids. For God's sake!
Oh,
the kids are sitting right behind her, and they were there all day yesterday. And those questions were asked in front of her children, just because the Democrats have a sick mind.
They were asked in front of the whole nation and the whole world.
Well, see, that's what this is what is, and to me, as far as Democrat, Republican, it don't matter. She's a human being first and foremost.
Right.
Regardless, those questions should have never been even aimed at her.
It was a witch hunt from the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. It was a witch hunt. They were using any excuse to shoot her down.
You know,
period.
Just like calling her a racist and a colonizer because she adopted 2 black children. But remember, years ago when Halloween was doing it, it was like a trending fad. Every celebrity, they were adopting black kids like it was a new fashion statement.
Yep.
All of a sudden now, but it's a problem now when a Christian conservative woman does it. It's a problem.
Now, so I think we all know what we can expect from these Democrats. You know, I really hope and pray that Joe Biden does not win in November, you guys. Can you imagine these guys being in power?
I'm going to say this. Now, Leon knows what's with me. I'm going to tell the rest of y'all. I am a Democrat, but guess what? I do my homework, and I look at the issues. I don't look at all this mudslinging bullshit they try to hand you on the TV and the radio and the newspapers. I ain't got time for all that mess. Point blank, it's bullshit. Thank you. I'd rather research and do the work, just like Leon does, to find out what's really going on behind the scenes. Because all the rest of this mess up here is nothing but smoke and mirrors. And that's all there is to it.
You know, it just like when I called a friend this morning to tell her that I voted, she said she was going to do it later on today too. And she kind of, you know, I wanted to say something smart to her, but she was like, anybody's better than who we got in office now. And I asked her, so what's bad with, what's wrong with Trump? And you can't even answer the question. You know, well, what has he done wrong? And, well, I don't like his attitude. I don't like his remarks. Okay, what about his policies? That's what you should care about.
That's it.
And all these people.
That's what I've been saying.
But people don't vote like that. They vote off of emotion. And that's what's going to get you messed. That's what's going to get you killed. You know, you're cutting off your face. Cutting
off your nose to spite your face.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
People need to realize if the Democrats get control of the Senate and the White House, they're going to stack the court. They're going to pack that court up so they can legislate from the court, and then they're going to add all these senators from Puerto Rico and from Washington, D.C., and Democrats will always be in control till kingdom come. They will never be able to get put out of office. They will always be in control, and that's what they want. They want control.
It's already happened in Virginia with their state level. They can't even do a recall of their governor anymore.
You guys, in the book I'm about to release, I talked about how I remember being a little girl growing up, and I remember people in my community talking about the fact they were saying that people were in our government and that they were going to try to do this to us someday. And here it is. I'm watching it happen in my lifetime. Yeah. You know what I mean? Did any of you hear that stuff when you were growing up?
Oh, I've heard about this all my life.
The thing about it, you have people that they're in denial still. They don't want to believe it, or they just, again, they're not going to believe until it actually happens. You know, like I said before, I told my brother, look at Venezuela. We're heading towards that. And you know what that idiot told me? This is America. That'll never happen. And a year later, basically 2 years later, look what's going on. You know, now he's dead silent about it.
They are starving. They are starving in Venezuela. I saw a video yesterday where they were fighting over a pound of flour just to have something to eat. People were getting killed for a bag of flour.
You guys, Americans need to wake up and realize what is on the line here. If you are a patriot who loves this country, get to the polls on November 3rd and vote, because we need to turn out to save our country. They are really trying to take it from us.
Well, Biden had a rally in Arizona, no one showed up. He had one in Pennsylvania, no one showed up.
Yeah, but we can't depend on that.
Can't depend on that because they're not letting people in because of the COVID-19.
Yeah,
they're doing it on purpose.
But look at Trump's rallies, though. Look at his rally yesterday.
I understand that, but you can't base that on that because if Biden's people are not letting people in because of that for the protection of the COVID-19, that's why it's being done like that. So I don't look at the size of the rallies. I understand Trump's got a huge one, and I agree that there's lots of them there, but it's all being controlled right now. So don't base it on that.
No,
but I was saying
nothing should be based on anything that's going on right now, except
and don't believe the polls. Do not believe the polls.
Oh, Tim, you can never believe the polls. Aren't the polls wrong every election?
Right now, if you believe the polls,
presidential elections in our lifetime, they've been wrong.
If you believe the polls, Joe Biden's going to outdo what Barack Obama did, and there is no way in hell people are going to vote for that man more than they voted for Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm. It's like I was saying, Tim. I was based on what happened in Arizona. Look what happened. There was a local news station there. It's like, oh my God, it's empty here. And it was an open space. It wasn't no inside deal. It was open space.
Well, they had people out there, and they had them standing in these white circles, and they were measured apart. So I think there's like 15 or 20 people there, and that was it. So they can only have 20 people in there because, the Democrats are scared to death of this COVID-19, which is not a disease. They are so scared of it, and really there's nothing to fear. At the beginning of it, I would say, yes, there was a lot to fear about it. Well, but now we have the therapeutics and the medications to get you through it.
The Democrats wanted to scare everybody, and they succeeded in scaring their own voters. They are probably going to wind up scaring their own voters away from the polls this year because of this nonsense.
Yeah.
I have never traveled so much as I have in the past 3 months, and I am not scared of COVID-19.
Yeah, you just wear a mask while you're out there.
I go. I'm
social distance. We should all be able to go vote safely.
I wear a mask. I clean my hands, but I go everywhere I want to go. I am not going to have COVID-19 dictate my life.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard the news about Mr. Barry Obama?
What's that?
About what happened to SEAL Team 6?
Oh, I heard something about that.
I think something's going to happen. The way when Trump tweeted about it yesterday.
Yeah.
How Obama, Biden, and Hillary eliminated the team that took out Osama bin Laden.
Yes.
I'm like, wow. I looked into that. I'm like, wow, that's messed up. It all relates to Benghazi, and oh my God, that crooked piece of crap, Obama. I know I'm gonna get flack for it, but I don't care. The truth needs to come out. That should be hung
Well, Barack Obama should be charged for treason because they keep on talking about, Donald Trump said there's not going to be a peaceful transition. There wasn't a peaceful transition from the last administration. They were trying to coup on Donald Trump from the minute go. And Barack Obama ends up being in the middle of all this. He's a flat ass liar.
Yep. All this goes back to Hillary's emails. And like Hillary said, if Trump got in office, we all are going to hang. That's why all this crap that's been out. The impeachment, which didn't work. The Russian bull crap didn't work. This COVID crap didn't work. Now the riots, and that seemed not to work. They're trying to throw everything but the kitchen sink at the man, and it seemed not to. If the man comes out on top all the time, they know it's over. They know that deep state is coming unraveled now. I hope.
Leon, we're going to have to worry about. we're going to have to worry about the Democrats from here on because they are wanting that power. If they don't get it this year, they're going to try to get it in 4 years. And so we've got to always be on guard because they're not going to give this up.
Yeah. It's sad. The truth is coming out. And I hope that whistleblower for this I hope they protect him because he said he's on his way to see Don Jr. And then hopefully to the president. I hope they protect him. I hope it doesn't Epstein himself.
Well, we're in trying times right now, and I'm scared for my country. And like I said, we've always got to be on guard from here on because the Democrats, once they get power, kiss it goodbye.
Yeah,
we've been in trying times long before now.
They are the enemy of the state. Actually, they are, and so is the media. And we all need to wake up and smell the coffee and realize we are a bunch of sheep being led down to slaughter if we listen to their bullshit.
Leon, ain't that what we were talking about yesterday?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
It's like I'm always fighting people, arguing with people. I'm tired of arguing with them about, ain't it funny how the media is biased against Trump? They've never done this against any other president, but Trump, they just hate the man. Everything he says, they take out of context. And now they want to get rid of the Electoral College. It's funny. Excuse me. That same Electoral College voted a black man twice as president. Now that you didn't get your way in 2016, you want to get rid of it. I'll be damned. But that's how the Democrats are. They're like whiny little babies. They don't get their way. They want to change the rules now.
That's why they want to change the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm. And that idiot Biden said the other day, we don't deserve to know if he's going to stack the courts.
That's exactly what he said.
That's it.
You guys, the vice presidential debate.
That was a mess.
That was horrible.
Yes, it was.
The vice presidential debate?
Pence came out and said, hey, Trump believes that the American people can continue to make their own decisions. And Miss Harris says, Joe Biden and I don't believe the American people know what they're doing.
Well, then it was a great debate because it was clear where both sides stand.
But that's the thing, though. These idiots, all they kept talking about was the damn fly.
Yeah, the fly.
About what she said about that she has no policy.
Ticket.
But it was clear that one knows that the American people can make up their own minds, and the other doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But the media doesn't pick up on that, and
nope.
And they don't really care. It's anything but.
I think it's going to be a landslide in November.
I doubt that.
Me too.
I think they'll win, but the legislature.
It's going to be fought. It's going to be fought tooth and nail.
Larry.
Yep.
What's going to go to court? It's going to end up in the Supreme Court's hands. I can guarantee you that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a great big mess because there's going to be a whole lot of smoke and mirrors, shucking and jiving bullshit
all over again.
Yep.
Or worse.
Yep.
That's why I said I voted yesterday at my poll, and today I'm putting my absentee ballot in the mail.
You guys, no, but seriously, here people are getting 2 ballots.
Mm-hmm.
If they put in for a Braille ballot, they send them the Braille ballot, and then they send them the large print ballot.
Mm.
Are you serious, Kim?
Well,
I know people that this has happened to.
Oh, wow.
Well,
so
I'm
they
glad,
could, if they wanted to, vote twice.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad that the Texas Supreme Court, the GOP won that case yesterday about it's only one place you can take your mail-in ballot to. Here in Houston, it's where Texas play. That's where you drop off your mail-in ballot at. So, and Democrats are mad. They're pissed about that. So, oh well. And look what happened in Texas the other day. A mayoral candidate got arrested for stuffing ballot boxes. The idiot had the ballots in his house.
Oh my God!
He's going. The sheriff broke in his house and found him, and now he's going to go bye-bye. I'm like, how stupid can you be?
No, that's greed. That's what that is.
You know.
That was greed.
That's just like the Ilmar Omar up there in Minnesota. They've caught her people out there buying ballots, and they had one guy had 400 ballots in his car. So you show up, and they've got this on film. They've got this on film. Look at it's on YouTube. It's
that's sad.
Project Veracruz, and he's got them, and they're being investigated because she's stuffing the ballots for her and sleeping Biden. So there is a lot of voter fraud going on.
And that's what's so sad. And I remember reading, where was it at? It was behind some building where a dumpster was full of
That's
ballots.
in Pennsylvania. That was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a dumpster full of ballots behind this building.
You guys, it's happening all over the place and in various ways.
That's why I wish we'd go back to the old days where you had one day to vote. One day. If you didn't go vote, you didn't get the vote in. And I think we need to go back to that system. You get one day, you show up, you're in line for 12 hours, you're in line for 12 hours.
Well, they need
you know
to
what?
make it so people can vote online.
Oh, no, that can be hacked. That can be hacked.
It sure can all the
But think
time.
about all the people who might not be able to make it on that one day, Tim. Like right now, I'm terrified that if I don't go vote in one of the early voting booths come election day, I'll have the virus and I won't be able to go vote. You know?
Well, the old days, you had one day to vote, and that was it. And it was more secure than ever back in those good days. There
also weren't as many people in voting age.
That's true.
That's the difference.
That's true. And we didn't have social media.
Nope. Not like it is now. No.
Yeah, the social media was the telephone, the TV, and the radio.
Yep. But they weren't into sensationalism back then as they are now.
Oh, yeah.
TV was tightly censored. Radio was regulated by the FCC, and it wasn't a whole bunch of this who shot John, who slapped Mary, none of that.
You do know that if you at work, your job has to let you off the work to go vote. That's
you have to by law.
So, guys, for those of us on the panel, do any of you wish that we were living 20 years ago?
No.
Hell no.
Me neither. I couldn't give up for technology.
Jesus Christ Almighty. 20 years ago, that was hell on earth.
I see what you're saying.
Or even 40 years ago, you know what I mean? Back in 1980?
Like I said.
Yay.
That's 40. I wasn't even born yet.
I'll take the president. Ronald Reagan.
But things were starting to get crazy at that point.
I was 4 years old in 1980, and so I remember the 80s and the 90s. So
No, I was working at a regular job at that point and still had my sight.
Trust me, I remember 1980 and the 80s well. I have no wish to go back there.
No. Mm-mm.
Well, somebody on the panel was fondly talking about the good old days, so that's why I sort of
love the 80s.
what the good old days meant. We didn't have all this cool technology we have now.
I wasn't even thought about then, so I don't know.
You were a gleam in your daddy's eye, weren't you?
Yep, until 87, till I popped out my mama. But I remember the 90s fondly, and I remember the early 2000s when it was a hellhole. Everything was starting to go down in the 2000s.
What year were you born, Leon?
87.
Oh, okay. So you're 11 years younger than me. I thought you were
at high school. I was already at high school.
I was just now. Hell, I remember the 90s where kids would still play outside. They don't even do that.
Yep. Play outside till the street lights came on.
Oh, I remember doing that when I was a kid. Yeah.
Roger, buy as hell. Like my dad said, you don't even see kids but getting bicycles for Christmas anymore. That used to be the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A new bicycle under the tree. Hell yeah.
Speaking of bicycles, do you guys know anybody who's tried to get a bike during this quarantine that we just got out of? Because here,
No.
my sister and several of my friends went to get bikes during the quarantine, and they were sold out everywhere, right? And my sister actually wound up having to order one, and it's on back order. She ordered it in August, and it's still on back order. It's supposed to be here sometime between now and sometime in November.
Mm. Well, here in Houston, that we have those rent a bike thing kiosks downtown.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can rent a bike and for the whole day, but you could return to any kiosk you want.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't trust that crap because people are not saying it. Well, they're supposed to come and clean them, but those things are always sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got a question for the panel.
What's that, Tim?
Should felons be able to vote?
If they served their time, yes, I see what you're saying, Tim. Yes and no. It depends what their crime was too, because some felons they don't need to do nothing but sit. Hell, someone still should be locked up if you ask me.
I think if they've served their time, that they've paid their penalty to society, so they should be able to vote. But their vote should not be able to be bought by rich politicians like what has gone on in this election.
Oh, he got caught with that Bloomberg. And LeBron James was doing it too. It's funny that no one heard about that. He was doing it too.
Yeah. Innocent until proven guilty.
Huh?
I think it depends.
Innocent until proven guilty. And if you're on death row, you should not be voting.
Oh no.
I think it depends on if it's a. I believe if it's
prison, you shouldn't be voting. It's when you're out of prison. If you already served you paid off your debt to society.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on the crime you do. If it's a what they call white collar crime, I'm okay with it. But if it's anything with any violence or anything like that, you should lose your ability to vote.
Yeah.
Oh, but Tim, some of these white collar crimes are being committed by politicians who are screwing our system. That's treason. I think treason should be at the top of the list.
Nobody.
Go ahead.
Nobody's convicted of treason anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I know, and that's
unfortunately.
And the definition of white collar crimes is changing
Constantly.
It's changing all the time, and so that's why people get away with it.
Well, I think rapists, murderers, and child molesters and drug dealers and all that stuff should never be able to vote again. But if you go out and do something that's really nothing that's hurt anybody other than in the pocket, I guess.
Like selling pot?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just, I believe that certain crimes, it's okay. But if you do, like I said, any violent criminal activity, then you shouldn't be able to vote.
Well,
okay, now, what is your definition of just curious, what is your definition put forth of the drug dealer? The big time person that is dealing all sorts of drugs, or the small person that sells a little marijuana once in a while?
Well, you can't do the big drug dealer.
My definition of it, Larry, you're talking about a drug kingpin? Like the big man on top.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Them, it depends, man. Like that K2 crap, and I don't care about weed. I really don't care. My thing is the meth and the coke and the black tar heroin. That's what's killing people. And these pills. That's the stuff.
Okay, that would agree with mine. Okay, I was just wondering how he classified when he made the general term drug dealers as for,
I've seen people, hell, look at all these stash houses being, well, here in Houston, all these people that live in the suburbs, they go buy these houses and make them grow houses. You would never know who your neighbors are.
Right.
It surprised me to know that some people that I knew personally were dope dealers. I'm like, I'll be damned. That was just the most cleanest cut person you ever seen. No wonder they got a fancy house and a nice car. I never knew till they got caught, till they got busted. I'm like, huh, you never know. But can we please talk about what he did to our, my whole family, they're a military family. What if that was my brother that got killed, over there in Afghanistan because of Obama's bullshit?
Wow.
You know why they eliminated SEAL Team 6? They killed them. They killed them because that was not supposedly that wasn't Bin Laden that they killed, and Iran was gonna snitch. That's why Obama gave them over $150 billion of our money.
So are you guys saying that President Biden and some other people in our government had SEAL Team 6 murdered?
Bingo.
I have not heard about this yet.
I've heard it before, but now it's coming clear what happened the night that they got killed. They were in an old Vietnam helicopter, Chinook, and you're not supposed to put both your team, your whole team on a helicopter. Like, they're supposed to be separate. There were no support helicopters, like attack helicopters with them. And out of the blue, here come a Stinger missile from the Taliban, and it took them down. Everybody on board was killed. Everybody.
So this is a pretty serious charge. What news media broke this, Leon?
It wasn't no news. It was independent media.
So is it like on YouTube and stuff?
No. I mean, it's on YouTube, but like, what's the news network that broke it to me? The Next News Network. They're a Christian network, and they're very, very reliable sources.
There's a Christian news network?
Mm-hmm. They call the Next News Network.
Oh, is it TBN?
CBN.
Oh, Christian Broadcasting Network?
No, they call the Next News Network.
The Next News Network? Oh.
That's what broke it to me, and they were very credible. Very credible. And President Trump yesterday tweeted about it.
So does the Next News Channel actually have a station on cable TV, or is it just online then?
It's on News Network. It's on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. If Trump tweeted about it, it's gaining steam now.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they bring charges against. I really hope they bring charges against that traitor.
Yeah.
Think about what if I decided that I couldn't join the military? What if that was me? My family would have been lied to.
Mm-hmm.
Hillary we all know she's crooked, and Joe Biden, his son, his crackhead son needs to go down too. He's always one in the fence for his crackhead son. But
it's come out today that they've got the emails of his sons coming out, and
the day of reckoning is coming.
The emails coming out that he introduced his daddy to those people over there in Russia when Biden said he was never introduced. But we've got the emails saying, no, you were introduced. So there's going to be an investigation now real quick. Joe Biden is one of the most crookedest people there is in office. I thought that he is tied to everything.
Really?
37 years is a long time to get your name added on.
Well, come to find out, his family, his brother-in-law is got stock in the vaccine for COVID-19, and he keeps telling Biden all kinds of stuff of what to do. Well, yeah, he wants to, because he wants to get the money. It's all about money. Joe Biden his whole family's attached to corruption.
Were you going to say something, Kim?
The whole thing just makes me mad.
and the media's the regular media, other than Fox, is not talking about it. And it was a news flash this morning about these emails that are coming out, and that is going to be investigated by the FBI, and it's going to be investigated by Homeland Security.
Yeah, that's just why I just for real, I kept thinking about that last night about SEAL Team 6. We've been duped the whole time. I'm like, wow, and you just eliminate them. And the funny thing about it, the sad thing about it, one of the members before they were killed in a helicopter told his dad when he came home, get my will ready because I don't think I'm coming home. He knew something was going to happen to him. He knew it. This is what his dad said. I'm like, wow, really? Your own government betraying you like that, and you're supposed to be fighting for them.
That just really shocks me, you guys, and I'm really disheartened by that. I'll have to go online and investigate it myself. That's just...
That's not even that. Think about Obamagate, like Tim said earlier. You spying on the
Trump administration.
Yeah. Mm. Wow. And it's funny, like I said, the day of reckoning is
but to set up a group of our military men and women who, I don't know if it was men and women or just men or just women.
SEAL team, Navy SEALs are men, but they had Army military
set up
personnel
the Navy
on
SEAL
board.
team that took out Bin Laden, to set them up for extermination.
Yes.
And they took out Bin Laden, who attacked our country. That is akin to being on the side of the terrorists.
Supposedly took him out. That's why Iran was going to threaten to. They're going to spill the beans if Obama didn't give up the money. Mm-hmm. That they messed up. That was not Bin Laden that they killed. Mm-hmm. But that piece of crap, he lied, sat there and lied to the whole world that we killed him, and now it's coming out that we didn't.
Oh, I remember when Obama did his victory lap about catching Obama and all that stuff. I was not impressed.
Well, the thing about it, they were talking about they buried him at sea, and that you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to bury him facing Mecca.
Yeah.
How do you know Muslims don't bury at sea? So, like I said, it's all corruption, man. And that's why not Hillary, but she's involved, but that's why they throw everything at Trump. He's spilling the beans on everything. That's why this pandemic happened. That's why Russiagate happened. That's why the impeachment crap happened with Ukraine. And it's not working. Now that's why Trump was saying, the October surprise. I hope this was the surprise he was talking about. I really do.
Leon, how are your studies going?
They're doing great. I had class before I joined the View today, and I have a tutoring session at 3. So it's going great. So like I say, this semester the math is coming together. I'm seeing what's working and what doesn't work. But it's a work in progress.
I've heard that math is really hard to master.
It's not hard. It's just people are afraid of math. I'm not afraid of it. It's just I need people to. I can't sit there in the classroom and learn. I need one-on-one. That's my thing with math for me. Some people can learn in a group environment. In math, I can't.
So do you have someone online that you meet with?
Yeah.
To help you with that? Oh, that's
good. They say in 2 weeks, we can go back to campus. So I'm going to just make an appointment and go see him starting in 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before I went blind, I was an ace at math, and so I can still pretty much do math in my head. But I do understand why math can be more difficult for people who've never been able to see.
And I got the extra myself because I got to grab a bite to eat and get ready for our next class, my tutoring session. Yeah. So I'll bid y'all adieu.
Are you guys ready to shut down the show then?
It's up to you, Becca. It's your show.
Is it just you and me left, or is Kim still on?
No, Kim left. And
okay.
It's me,
Joanna, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Just basically everybody just use your head, do the research, check things out, and just don't listen to the hype and bullcrap that the three-ring circus the media has presented has given you. Mm-hmm. Take the time, do the work, and then go make your decision and vote. Point blank.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a blind viewer, you can get access to the media through NFB Newsline and several other sources. And there's the radio you can turn on and your local cable news. I just strongly encourage our viewers, whether you're blind or sighted, to get involved and start trying to educate yourself on what's really going on.
You got 21 days to election, or 20 days to election day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, until all hell breaks loose.
Yep. Okay. Is there anything else anybody else would like to add?
I'm done because I got to go.
I'm good.
Okay. Tim, was there something you were saying?
I'm already left.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining us today on Becca's World for the Blind View. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you have any questions you'd like us to tackle on the Blind View, please email them to us at info@bluebutterflyenterprises.com, and we will also confront those issues on the show. Please like, share, and hit the subscribe button. Peace out. Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.